welcome to the new episode of Progressive Diary. We have a very special guest and it's a really huge honor to host Anthony Pappa. Hello Anthony,
Hello.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you for having me. Thank you.
You're welcome, it's our pleasure. You know, you are a big legend and having you here in Serbia and doing this interview, it's really a privilege for us.
It's great to be here. Yeah, it's good to be back in Serbia.
Yeah. Let's start from some early beginnings.
Sure.
What made you to start making music, and how that evolution from the beginning until now?
Well, for me, actually, I was more of a DJ first, and then many years later became a producer to make music. So even today, I say to people, I'm first a DJ and second a producer. Even though today the two go very hand in hand, and it's important to do both. But yeah, like I started DJing or buying records, I'd say when I was 13. So this was 1986. And you know, I was like a young teenager. I never thought at this age to start making music. It was just, I loved the music, buy the records, buy turntables and learn how to mix and to be a good DJ. It wasn't until I moved to England from Australia in 1995. It wasn't until I started working at a place called DMC and a record label called Stress, actually with Dave Seaman. In this building they had studios, and that was my first introduction to recording studio. And this was like 1996. And I met a guy working there, Alan Bremner. We made a partnership under the name Freefall. And we made a track called Skydive. Yeah. And this was like the early beginnings of a studio career.
Nice. You mentioned buying records and stuff. How many records you have?
Around 35,000.
Wow.
a lot of records,
really
yeah.
Lot.
But yeah, records from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, and then after this it was CDs, or people sending you music and you burn a CD. And now it's all digital, so, but yeah.
Do you remember maybe your first vinyl?
I don't know if it was the first, maybe New Order, Bizarre Love Triangle.
Nice.
One of the early records I bought, yeah. Like I liked New Order, Depeche Mode, all these bands from the 80s, electronic.
Yeah.
And then from there it was dance music, house, progressive. You know, as music evolved, as I evolved, as I grew up, that you change with the styles, yeah.
Yeah. So at the age of 20, you won your first international gig in London Ministry of Sound Club. How was that experience?
Well, it was a competition with a magazine called Mix Mag and the Ministry of Sound, and they asked DJs from around the world to send a tape, and if the best tape that they were going to choose, the first prize was to DJ at the Ministry of Sound. So I won this, and I got to play it at the London Club, which is amazing because in Australia all we heard was about this Ministry of Sound Club in London with an amazing sound system, but I live on the other side of the world, it's very far. So you just read in the magazines about this amazing club. So to have the opportunity to play there, it was incredible. And that was in October 1994. Yeah. And it was that trip to London that made me see clubs in the UK and have that experience that made me realise that I need to go live in England because it was mind-blowing, you know. Like, we have great clubs in Australia, but what we have compared to what was happening in Europe, it was a different scale. Different. Yeah, this is amazing. So literally 7 or 8 months later, I moved to the UK.
Yeah, nice. So speaking about UK, Global Underground is one of the most iconic labels, and they're famous for the mix series of DJs, you know, representing like underground scene of some part of the world. And you made the first edition of Nubreed.
Nubreed, yes. Yeah.
So can you tell us something?
Yeah, well,
how that connection came with the label?
Before Global Underground, I'd done albums for Renaissance. Renaissance was and still is, a strong brand, and they had the amazing compilation CDs as well. And well, by moving to the UK in '95, I think over the next 3 or 4 years, my profile in England and a little bit around the world was starting to rise and build. And I was on their radar. And I knew James and Andy from Global Underground. We were friends. And it wasn't just me. They could see at the time, because they were doing albums with Paul Oakenfold, Sasha, Digweed, Dave Seaman, all these amazing DJs. And Tony DeVitt was the first one. They could see there was a next generation of artist DJs coming through. And like myself, Danny Howes, Lee Burridge, Steve Lawler, and Sanders. So their idea was the new breed. The name of the series was the new breed of DJs for the next generation of what they thought was going to be the next DJs to break, you know. So I was very honoured to be asked to do the first one, because the first Global Underground is an amazing series, and I love all the albums and the concept and the way they take their brand and their music around the world. It's a very global thing, which is Global Underground. So yeah, I was very honoured to do the first one, and it was life changing.
Yeah, we are still listening, even if it was many years ago. We're still listening many compilations, albums. It's really outstanding. And
well, I think the important thing about these albums, and not just Global Underground, like Renaissance, other compilations. This was before Spotify, YouTube, before the internet. So for a lot of places around the world, these compilation CDs was the exposure to the DJs, the music. And a lot of people learned the music that we love today, starting from these albums. Yeah. So they were very influential. Yeah.
Of course. You travel a lot from to one. Wait.
Okay.
You travel a lot and going from one country to other, and we know that it can make some kind of a pressure, being away from home and preparing for the crowd, for the fans, for the party. Yeah. How do you take that pressure?
It's a part of the job that's actually it's quite a big involvement in not just because DJing, the DJing part, when you get to play music, for me personally, that's the easy bit because that's what we love to do. I think that the hardest would be, like you say, is the preparation for traveling, touring, being away from your family. It can take its toll. I think for the DJs that have been around longer, that we kind of grew as the scene was growing around the world. So it wasn't from the very start that we were traveling every week around the world. Yeah. We were doing, like I was playing a lot in Australia, then I was playing a lot in England when I moved, and then starting to travel a little bit. So we kind of got used to it as the demand of the travel increased. It happened over time, and it got us more used to this style of this is what we need to do. For example, like an Avicii or someone like who makes a big track, overnight instant success, and then they start touring. They don't have that experience. It's hard to prepare for that. Yeah. So I think for us we were lucky because as the scene was growing and we were growing, we kind of got used to the schedule. Yeah, it helped,
like step by step.
Slowly. And then as it got busier, well, you get more and more used to it. So
yeah, of course.
I think that helps. Yeah.
I think a lot of DJs and other artists talk about mental health in the last couple of years, which is really important, because some of them have struggling or things like that. Yeah. What advice maybe you can give to them how to calm, to control some moments.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing that people talk about it like more today. It's a very open topic, not just DJing, but in general with people's lives. It's not something that was spoken much in the past before. So for the younger DJs or people that are new, it's good to have people that have this experience to give you this advice. How to deal with it? Like, I think you just need to try and keep balance, keep yourself grounded. Sometimes, for me when I was young, I was, when you're young, you think you can do everything and you want to, especially because I moved from Australia to England, I was chasing my passion, my dream, and I would say no to nothing, I was like, I'm going to do every gig and there's only so much you can do and eventually it's going to catch up with you. So in time with experience, I think just learning to have a good balance and know when to say yes or no. Sometimes it's okay to say no if it's too much, you know. Be kind to yourself, your body, and rest when you can rest, you know. Just try to eat well, live well, do as many of the good things for you as possible. You know?
Yeah, of course. So that can last, you know, longer, because if you try something that it's not really good, that can end.
It's easy to burn out, you know. You're traveling a lot, you're working a lot, we're having late nights, people partying, and you know, you work late, you have to get up early. It can be very difficult.
Of course. You mentioned Dave Seaman. We know that you are doing a lot of back-to-backs, and it's a great dynamic between you two. How much do you need any preparations maybe for the back-to-back, and how do you make that balance?
Okay, well, for Dave, and I've known Dave Seaman for 33 years. I met him when he came to Australia for the first time in 1993. So we have a very long friendship. And I think this is important for a back-to-back, that you have a good connection. Yes. Actually, just now, we're here in Belgrade, we're playing tonight. We've just been sharing music now. I was just updating my playlist. So I think the fact that we share music with each other, we have a very similar style DJing. We don't have a plan when we go to the club. We both know where we want to start, what we need to do, and how to build the set. And by knowing each other's music and knowing each other as friends and our styles, we just come together and it works. You know, you can't plan a back-to-back. Yeah. You know, all I can do is have my list of what I would play in a night from beginning, middle, and he would do the same. And you know, we the way we do it is we play 2 tracks each, on and off, and depending on what he plays, that'll be where I go next. You know, you don't know until it's happening, and also, you know, it depends on the night, on the situation, the party, the people, which direction. You know, if we need to go more harder or more like this, you know, so it's very spontaneous and yeah.
Yeah, so speaking about that, some DJs like to build their set, like, you know, in a harmony or more groove and energy. Yeah. How do you choose? How will you go with
the most important thing for any DJ, I think, is to play good music and to play the right music at the time of the situation. So depending on if it's early or late, about playing the right music at the right time. For me, or the key or the harmony, that's something that is normal. When I go to choose a track, that's in my thought as well, but it's about playing the right track. But if I can do it in a way that makes it sound right as well, it's everything. You know, to try and complete everything to the best possible ability, that's the track. That's the way to go. Because you know, you want to play the right track, but it needs to sound and it needs to fit. It needs to work. So
and you have to follow the crowd and to see the reaction.
You're thinking of all these things. Yeah. And in a way, playing back to back, it's a little bit easier because when he's playing it gives you time to look and think more about. Okay, he's playing 2 tracks, so I have maybe 10 minutes to look and find the right track.
The right one.
Yeah.
One thing that we have to mention, you know, we had last year first edition of Balance Festival.
Amazing.
Really one of the greatest things that happened on our scene. So how was that experience for you, and are you excited for the second edition?
I think all of us can't wait to come back. It was amazing. I mean, you were there. Yeah. It was a festival where, you know, there's other festivals with bigger productions and more stage effects. It wasn't about that. Mind you, the stages were good. It was about the community, the coming together, the people, the music. Yes. This is what made the festival special. And you know, to have all of the DJs of our style of music that we love, that we've been pushing for many, many years, all come together. It was like a celebration of all of our lives and everything that we believe in, everything that we love. What was good, it might have been Dave or some DJ. We were backstage when John and Sasha were playing, and all the DJs were there. Yes. And someone said, this is like a DJ high school reunion, you know? It was just good to see. Because, as you know, everybody's, like today's life, everything's quick, fast, everyone's busy. Everyone has a very busy schedule, but DJs were coming early, like Hanan, it was like hanging out and to see other people talk and hang out and supporting each other. That was nice.
Yeah, really nice to see all of them, you know. It wasn't like we are restricted from the DJs, you know. We were all there, you know, like...
I was going to say, it wasn't just about the DJs connecting, also the DJs with the people, like walking around and taking photos, and everybody had more time for people.
Yes.
Normally, like you arrive 1 hour before, they have to play, maybe they got another gig or another flight, you know, it's just too busy. So it was nice to have the time for everybody.
Really, we are really looking forward to go back.
We can't wait to do it again. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. You're going to be there, of course.
Of course, how to miss it. Once you go, you're hooked. We were thinking it will be maybe the only one, you know, because they were celebrating like 20 years of the label or like that. And when we saw the announcement for the next year, it was like, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's one of the highlights for us of the calendar. You know, it's good. Amazing festival. Speaking about social media, you know that we live in a world where you have to be present. I mean, you don't have to, but you know, for things you are doing, you know, being DJ on the tour, releasing music and stuff, it takes time to. I mean, you have to be present on the socials. So how do you manage all the things, and does it make you a pressure, you know?
I wouldn't say it's a pressure. I just realised the importance of it today and the role that it plays in what we do. Promoting a gig, promoting arts, promoting music, you know, it's very important. So, like just today, Dave and I, we went for a walk to the centre, the square, and you know, getting some photos to do a post to let people know that we're here in Belgrade. You know, normally my preparation would just be make sure I have the music for tonight. But now part of the preparation for being here is, you know, let's go out and take a photo somewhere in the city and show the people that we've arrived, and you know, gets people excited. It's important to engage with fans, followers, but you know, this isn't why we do it, because we love the music. This is just part of what it's become today, and it's a necessity to keep up with it. And I manage it myself, and I just have to do it daily, you know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are fans who can travel, you know, for example, they can't come to Belgrade or anywhere else, so they want to see, you know, what's going on. Any upcoming things that you can share with us, any projects? Or
I have a lot of music coming out this year, probably more music coming out this year than for a long time. I had a track out earlier this year in January with a guy called JPA from Australia. Maybe you might not know of him, but it's more of a housey track. That came out on Bush Records. In March, I have a track coming out with Framework, where we did a collaboration. In April, myself and an artist called Faux Play, we do another collaboration. We have 2 tracks coming out on Sudbeat. Myself and Faux Play again, we have a track called Forever Seeking coming out on Guy J's label on Early Morning. I have a track with Aubrey Fry coming out on Ballads. I have a track with Aubrey Fry coming out on Music to Die For. I have a track with Casey Taylor coming out.
Amazing.
I think I'm
busy schedule.
There's probably some more I'm forgetting. Jamie Stevens and I have another track coming out later in the year. So yeah, there's a lot of music ready to go.
Yeah. Now that you mention all the legends, I remember when I first time listened to you in Amsterdam. It was 3 or 4 years ago, and it was one club, you know, almost all Australians were playing.
Yes, it was on the last night of
night, and it was really late, you know, and my friend and I heard that you are playing somewhere close, and we were like, okay, we are here, we can't miss it, and we stayed till the end. I remember still that energy. I was really, you know, exhausted and everything, but I couldn't sit, you know, because every set was perfect, and that energy and the groove and the crowd, it was really
that party was arranged by a guy called Jaden from a company called Recovery Collective, and they're from Australia. So he asked me to play, and you know, of course I say yes, and I really wasn't sure, not if the party was going to be good, but how the party was going to go, because like you said, it was the last day. Yeah. And I know at ADE, when you've been out every day for 4, 5, 6 days, you're exhausted.
Yes.
And I just wasn't sure if are people going to come on the last day. Maybe they got no more energy. And I remember seeing you, and I was very happy to see you. And there was a nice crowd there, and it was a good party. Yeah, it was good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
So Anthony, thank you really so much for this interview and for taking the time to make it. And we are really looking forward to hear you tonight in Belgrade at the club Cult. You're playing first time there.
Yes, in this club, yeah.
So we are looking forward, and we hope to see you somewhere else in the near future.
Well, for sure, especially we'll see you in Croatia.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, balance.
Okay, so yeah, last year we played the festival. It was great. We actually played separate sets, but then we played a set where we went back to back for the closing, and actually it was with John Graham.
Quiver as well, yeah.
It was a back to back, so it was great. And this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the highlights of the year for me. I mean, it was an amazing event. It was a really special weekend to have so many friends all in the same place at the same time from all over the world. I think it's the first time really where it felt like the whole of the progressive community was in one place at the same time.
Correct.
And the vibe was amazing. It was just, people were there. It really had that original spirit of why we do this, the whole idea of just celebrating life together to music without any of the bells and whistles, no need for massive video screens, no need for pyrotechnics. It was just good music, good sound systems, and good people all enjoying themselves in a beautiful setting. And it really reminded us about why we do this in the first place.
Yeah, the good times, yeah. And it was about the community, and like Dave said, coming together mainly because of our music. You don't normally get a festival for 3 days where it celebrates all of the music with all of the DJs that we love. Now, you might get normally a techno stage or a house or a progressive. This was the whole lot based for us.
Yeah.
What we've been pushing all our lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was, and we were there for the whole weekend, so we got to see lots of other DJs play. I like to be able to go and support each other and around the various stages, and it's such a beautiful setting in Tisno as well. So to say we're a tad excited about this year coming up would be a bit of an understatement. Yeah, very, very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I've got to do a gig on the Saturday, which I reluctantly have to go do it. No, it's a good gig. I have a party to go to in Belfast. I did one party in Belfast. It was completely sold out, so they put a second date on. It's one of the classical orchestral shows, so I've got to shoot off on the Saturday. But I'm going to come to Balance for the Thursday, Friday, go back to Belfast, and then come back to Croatia straight away on the Sunday for our set. And we're going to do back-to-back on the main stage Sunday night.
Last year we played on the beach stage, which was amazing, by the water. And like Dave said, this year we're going to play the main stage.
Main stage, on the Sunday night. So the very much looking forward to it.
The Yard, isn't it?
The Yard, I think
it's the Yard. So it's been great.
Yeah, so we're here in Belgrade to play Cult Club. I played here a couple of years ago, so I have been here before.
It's my first time here tonight at Cult. Anyway,
Good to say, because you have played Belgrade before,
many
right?
times.
We're really looking forward to it. It's always a pleasure to play back to back. We just seems to dovetail very well between the two of us. Yeah. We share music a lot every week, so we have similar tastes and DJ in a very similar way, the way we set everything up. So it's very comfortable, and so it's always fun.
Yeah, we started the year doing back-to-back gigs in Australia. We did a few shows in February, March in Mexico, and now we're in Europe. So it's always a pleasure.
Got a few things coming up. We've got London coming up, got Amsterdam coming up, another trip to Mexico.
Yep.
So Belgrade is the first of this little run through the spring. So excited.
Yep.
Amazing. Do you have some fun moments from the trips or playing back to back or something to share?
Yeah.
What do you mean by fun moments?
we always have a good time when we DJ. You know,
it's always fun, right?
I love the music. I love playing. It's fun.
Yeah. It's always fun DJing, yeah. I mean, you know, it's nice actually to travel together.
I was going to say
the one thing that doing these back-to-back things, because you know we've both been DJing for a long time, and we tend to travel by ourselves. We don't come with an entourage or any tour managers or anything like that. A couple of times when I've had people come along to try and help me, it's been me that's looked after them rather than the other way around. So it's lovely to travel with a mate, you know.
It's nice to be able to, you know, should we go get some lunch, have some dinner, and someone to hang out with before or after the show. So it's nice, yeah.
For me, upcoming, I've got my first ever artist album. It's taken me a while. I'm nearly 40 years in the business. I mean, obviously done lots of mix compilations, you know, like that, DJ albums like that. But yeah, my first artist album's coming in June time. Just finishing that off at the minute, which is kind of a collection of some things that have already been out before, but kind of new versions of it, remix versions, tweaked versions. So it's kind of more of a listening collection of some of my favourite things over the last 10 years or so, and some new stuff as well. So yeah, so I've been busy doing that, and that'll be my next project coming up at the beginning of the summer.